Today's case is so disturbing that it doesn't even seem believable. It goes to show how much evil is truly in this world. So sit back and let's dive into details of this chilling case. Hey guys, it's Tiffany. Welcome back to my channel. Today's story is so similar to another that I've done. If you've been with me or if you've just come across a previous video I have of Tattoo Eddie, I mean, it's insane literally how exact of a story this is. I was reading about this and in my head, I'm like, is this the same story? Is it just like a different location? Like, it was crazy. A Sevierville woman was killed in a robbery attempt at the Family Inns of America East in Pigeon Forge in October of 2000. The Pigeon Forge police chief said that around 5 a.m. that the body of Pamela Hale, she was only 48 years old and she was from Sevierville. She was found in the lobby of the motel. Pamela was the night auditor and she was a victim of this robbery gone wrong. Pamela wasn't even supposed to be working. She stayed to work an extra shift. She was trying to make ends meet with her children. She was a single mother and just trying to get extra money for bills and to provide for them. People that knew her said that she wanted nothing but the best for her children. That's just what makes this more sad and unfortunate, because she just seemed like a great person, a great mother, and then this wrong place, wrong time type of thing happened to her. A couple was checking out at the motel and they found her body behind the motel desk area. They then ran to another motel and informed a security guard there, and that was when he saw the body also. And you know, like I said in the beginning, this is just like the Tattoo Eddie story, because the victim in that story was a night auditor, just like this one. A security guard was involved. It's just so similar, and the fact that this happened years later, that was a robbery too. It just makes you feel like this was done to like replicate that. That's just what went through my mind. I don't know if you guys feel that way, but it's just so similar. The security guard who went to investigate and found her body said that she had been shot in the head. He said that she had been sitting in the chair behind the desk, and that is when, the person came, tried to rob her, and then shot her. Coins were lying in the floor, cash drawers were pulled out, computer monitors were turned over. It was a mess. A phone had been knocked off the desk also. It makes me wonder if maybe she grabbed the phone and tried to call 911, call for help. And then when they tried to rob her, to rob the motel, that they just knocked the phone off so she couldn't grab it. She was lying face down on the floor behind the desk, and they also discovered that some of the cash drawers were missing. So it looked like they successfully robbed the motel, and they, I guess, felt the need to kill her for no reason. You think these people, once they rob the place, they would just flee and go, but to kill her also, it's just an unnecessary tragedy. It was weird because later that afternoon, the missing cash drawers were discovered like on the bank of the Little Pigeon River, and that is like directly back behind the motel, like to the right. That river, it runs all down like the parkway. The manager said that when he got there that paramedics were also there, and they confirmed that she was dead. He said that a night maintenance employee was most likely the last person to see her alive, and that would have been around 1:30 in the morning. So it was investigated by the TBI and the Pigeon Forge Police Department. At first they weren't calling it a murder because they wanted to investigate it further, but I'm thinking she was shot in the head, cash is missing, this was a murder. This, of course, was a murder. They ordered an autopsy to see her cause of death, but, it was obvious that she had been shot. That was the cause of death. At the time, her death was the third most violent death that had occurred in the Pigeon Forge. So Brandon Tipton was 24, and his wife, Michelle, were both charged with first-degree murder and felony murder. They discovered that even though she was shot, she was also beaten with a pair of bolt cutters. They robbed her and killed her, but they also wanted to torture her too. They wanted her to suffer. So the reason Brandon and his girlfriend chose this motel is because they actually were going to rob somewhere else in Gatlinburg, but it was kind of cut short because they saw a patrol car, and I guess they just got scared and they had an entire change of plans. And this part was so weird to me. Brandon and his girlfriend got married a day after they committed this murder. Who does that? It was like they got an adrenaline rush and a thrill from doing this, and they were like, oh, let's go get married now. That's so weird. They convicted Michelle of felony murder, robbery, and second-degree murder. The court asked for a life sentence for her. Brandon pled guilty to murder, but he was spared the death penalty. It makes me kind of wonder, what requirements, like what things have to happen for them to ask for the death penalty, because this was premeditated. The violence in this was just awful. They robbed the motel, but then they literally tortured her, and I don't know how you can spare people that, because it's just an awful tragedy. So he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The DA was seeking the death penalty, but Pamela's daughter didn't want that to happen. She said that there would be no closure, that if he died, that just wouldn't bring her any type of relief or happiness. She wanted him to suffer in prison. So the DA didn't seek the death penalty in Michelle's case because they believe that Brandon was the only attacker. They think that it was his idea, that he just drug her into it, and she kind of just had to go through with it because that was her man. So in return, she was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to 60 years in this case. The Family Inn Hotel was an older hotel at this time. It's changed its name since. You wouldn't even know its history if you didn't hear my video. You wouldn't know this happened, most likely, but they are trying to just wipe that clean from that ever happening there. They have changed the hotel. Like I said, they changed the name. They've painted it. It looks like a whole entire different place. However, they still have pretty much the same decor up. It's an older motel, and they have not really updated anything. It's pretty outdated, and you just have to remember that if you stay there. The people that stay there, though, say that the staff is great. Even though it's an older motel, it's kind of vintage, that everything's clean, the workers are great, so everybody pretty much has a good experience there. But you guessed it, the hotel is haunted, or they say it's haunted, from Pamela and this tragic night. And honestly, this is why a lot of people refuse to stay there. There's a story that says she still haunts it to this day, that her spirit has never left the building. It has never moved on. People who stay here often say that they can just feel somebody watching them. They said especially around 3 in the morning. And they say that 3 in the morning is like the weird hour of the night when ghosts and apparitions and paranormal things start to happen. So it's kind of, coincidence that this happens at 3 in the morning, but people feel them being watched while they're sleeping. They can feel like something on the bed. It feels like pressure on the bed coming closer to them. Someone said that they felt like they were being watched. They looked at the end of the bed, and it looked like Pamela sitting there. But they said when they woke up, all they caught was a glimpse, and then she was gone. A former night shift worker that works there said that when you're working there at night, that you're there, but you're not there by yourself, that you have her with you, and that he has seen her, and that she has never left the building. A couple visited for their anniversary. They said that when they left, they turned their lights off, had their TV off, everything was off in the room. They came back, lights were on, TV was on, and they said they knew they cut everything off, and this was at 3 in the morning. But they say if you see her, that she's not gonna hurt anybody, that, unfortunately she was killed there, but that she was a wonderful person, and that she is a friendly spirit. They say that she's a kind and caring woman even after her death. If you guys like this type of video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.